everybody, this is kind of a part 2 to the other one that I was making earlier about how I am getting rid of some games this year. I try to do this at the end of each year as we've grown and changed and trying to be more realistic about what next year looks like. I'm not very realistic because this pile is really big, but I still love most of these games, and so we're going to keep them. And this is what we used for a lot of our gaming through science this year, and I'll go through really fast, kind of explaining each one. Compounded simulates being in the lab. You're learning about actually building compounds, but also lab blowing up. There's really pretty crystal pieces to represent the different elements. It's a limited amount of elements, calcium, oxygen, things like that. But it's a really basic game. It says it's for 13 and up. We played this game with 7th graders and 5th graders, and it worked very successfully. We did simplify the rules just slightly for them, but I have 2 expansions I haven't even played yet. But this is an evergreen for me. I really love it, and I'm really happy to have it in my game. It's beautiful inside. It's super fun. Science Ninja Valence Plus. This game is advanced chemistry, simple rules, and ninjas. Everybody loves this game. It's super expensive. It's like $40-something, and I've never seen it really go on sale. Compound is old, might be hard to find. This one is for kids and does a great job. It's just super expensive, and I was wanting to hold back and not get it, but able to get it through our co-op and give it back to them when we're done. And so I feel like it's worth it because everyone has really learned a lot and has enjoyed it. And you can play it with really young kids up to like middle school. I mean, you could play it with grown-ups, but that's kind of the idea for that one. So Energy Empire, we haven't played this year, but I played it in the past. It's learning about how different kinds of energy is needed or ran in our society, and it's a worker placement. It's definitely for more middle school, high school. It says 13 and up. I played it with grown-ups and had a ball, played it with middle schoolers and had a ball. But it's definitely not like a big classroom type game. Tesla versus Edison. This one is a lot of history about the turn of the century and the 2 types of technology that were coming out for electricity. I enjoy it. My daughter enjoys it, so that's why we kept it. I love history, and so if I can mix my history and my science together, has a lot of historic characters, tons of cards that have real people that lived at that time period. Viral. This one is you are attacking the body. You're trying to kill the body. And Genius Games has one like that I'm getting rid of. But this one here is longer game, more. It's hilarious. But we like that one. And we also like Organ Attack. That one is a shorter card game, but it's the same idea. Again, you're attacking each other's organs and learning about the different organs in the body and what kind of sicknesses they can get. Solar Draft is fun if you're studying astronomy. It's a fun game. You're building your own solar systems by gathering different cards, and they do different things. But kind of Sushi Go, draw, pick, pass type game. And the artwork is super cute. It takes a little bit of learning, lot of fun. Definitely great for breaks, Ben breaks. They used this for their class last year with Apology as astronomy class. And it was a nice Ben break for young, like not little kids, but maybe 7 and up, 6 and up if necessary, but definitely easy for the 7 and up, 8 up, 9, 10, and then older to understand. So yeah, love Solar Draft, super fun. Down here we have Subatomic. This goes back to our Genius Games collection, and this one is good. We enjoyed it. It has the science explained inside it, and you're building atoms. And so if you want actual science games with actual science history to play as your curriculum or to supplement your curriculum, Genius Games, you can't really go wrong. Periodic Game of Elements is also Genius Games. This one we had fun with as well. You're playing on the periodic table. Cytosis, of course, you're doing all your cell biology, and again, they include the science. So if you take the time to read the science, you're going to learn also genotype, same thing, Genius Games. On that one, you're back in history, and you are actually taking the P's and putting them together. And my daughter, who had just studied that in her class, came in and she was like, completely explained the science to us. She was so awesome. She's like, oh, you're doing this and this and this and this. So anyway, great game for learning and for playing. And again, we played these with 5th graders and 7th graders. That was kind of our, now they are gamers. Obviously we wouldn't have this many games if my kids didn't love games, but we could have played with, well, we actually did play some of these with slightly younger kids too. We did have a 5th grader as well. So, and then Alpha is about wolves and the pack and trying to eat. And then if you eat too much, there's less food and competing with others. Bicycle games, they're the ones that make your favorite card decks. Put this out and it is really solid. You can find it pretty cheap right now on Amazon, depending on what year you're watching this movie. The Genius games is not cheap because they're science games. You can find them on sale. I would always wait to find them on sale, but Alpha's not, definitely much more like 20 and under. Genotypes, periodic, cytosis, those are going to be in your $30 to $40 to $50 range. We like Flux. Astronomy Flux helps us learn about, again, this was for our astronomy unit. If you never played Flux, it's a game where you start out with no rules and you actually have to play the rules, not rules, sorry, no win end goal game. So you're collecting cards, changing the end goals. We have one on anatomy and we have one on nature and we have a bunch more, but these are kind of our science games that they have put out that we've been able to collect. Once you learn how to play Flux, you can play any kind of Flux, and they come out with all kinds of fun topics. Love Lives and Babbage. This is actually a math game. This is mental math, really great for older kids. I love it because I love history mixed with my stuff. We used it to help some of my older kids get their math facts down that they had sort of skipped and missed, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing in a way that didn't feel like they were little kids. And I'm going to keep this. I really love this. Some of them were like, it's kind of boring, but I mean, it's math. So if you don't like math, you're not going to enjoy it. But it's puzzly math where you're adding, subtracting, and changing and trying to get the right number. This is the expansion for Petrichor, which is not over here, which is all about weather. And we haven't played it yet this year. I like it. It's hard to get to the table because the rules are very confusing, even for me. And once I play it, I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. But somehow learning it, again, it's been hard. But I'm excited about the new expansion, the flowers, and also just how pretty it is. But you're laying out raindrops and growing plants, and this bee goes around and pollinates stuff. So I have played with this expansion, but yeah, bigger game. So we haven't played it as much. And then over here, you can see I'm still in the process of cleaning up from last year's school to this year's school. The others, this here is mostly my math and language arts and some geography. These are all geography, but the one I did want to show you, if you ever find this at a thrift store, Cardline Globetrotter helps you line up your countries based on size, population, all kinds of stuff. And you're just basically laying them out and trying to decide, is my country bigger or smaller than that? And it's great for geography if you take like all just the Europe cards or all just the South America cards for younger kids. And then as they get used to it, you can add more and more cards. Timeline in general is all history games. So you're laying things out according to when they happened in history. They do have a science and discovery one. They sell smaller little circular sets now. They're not as many cards and they're not as cool as these tins, but that's okay. I mean, if you can find them for, the topics that you want, then I would go for it. They also have an animal one that is how big, how small. I'm not how big, how small. Obviously, that's the same one. What their weight is and that kind of thing. And you're trying to like line them up based on that. And that's my daughter's favorite. That's kind of the last science game that I have kept over here. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. I know you're probably curious about what all these are. Got Outnumbered, math, Big Money, math, Codename Duet, English, because you're learning vocabulary. But I'll go with some of those later on. These are the games we chose to keep. And I hope that was super helpful. And I hope you have a great day. Thanks.